Julie Webb serves very graciously and willingly in a variety of ways, not only in our church, but in the community around us. And currently, she is the co-chair of our church council, and she has been president of Angels on Assignment for how long now?
I've lost count.
Well, she's lost count, but a very long time. She's been president of the board of directors of Angels on Assignment. I told the first service I'm in a really good mood today because I don't have to preach. So I'm so glad Julie's going to come this morning and share and celebrate the good work of Angels on Assignment. Let's welcome her this morning.
Turn on. Thank you, Victor. Yes, we're excited that Angels on Assignment this year is celebrating its 25th year in ministry of providing for the poor and needy in our community. So I want to talk a little bit about where Angels has been, where we are now, and maybe where we're going. But first, I want to start with sharing with you some scripture from 1 John chapter 3, verses 16 to 18. We know what real love is because Jesus gave up his life for us. So we also ought to give up our lives for our brothers and sisters. If someone has enough money to live well and sees a brother or sister in need but shows no compassion, how can God's love be in that person? Dear children, let's not merely say that we love each other. Let us show the truth by our actions. The greatest example of real love was Jesus giving up his life for us. We are called to show the same love to our brothers and sisters. If we call ourselves Christians and claim to have God's love, then we should show compassion when a brother or a sister is in need. Angels on Assignment has been showing that compassion to residents of Jefferson County for 25 years. The mission of Angels on Assignment is to honor God by serving those in need with dignity and care. This past Friday, I was able to go over and help at the food pantry. I stopped in just to kind of gather up some information for this presentation today and ended up staying a couple hours and helping out with serving the food in the food pantry. During the 2 hours that morning, we had 119 households that came through the line for food, representing 433 people. Those volunteers that I was working with treated every person that came through that line with dignity and respect. I didn't see any judgment, any negativity from our volunteers. They were all very gracious and helpful to the clients. And before we talk about what's going on with Angels now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the history of Angels. Betty Lips started this ministry in 1991. The first project for Angels was helping a widow whose house had burned. She was living in an old laundry shed on the property with no water, no electricity, and not even a bed. Family members were even stealing her food stamps. Angels bought a 2-bedroom trailer and refurbished it with the help of some other organizations in the community. It provided shelter for 12 family members. Angels helped her to get on disability and to get a checking account and helped her to learn to manage that checking account. Betty had compassion for those in need in our community. It was her vision to have a ministry that could help those in need with utilities, rent, and food. Her idea was to be a hand up, not a hand out. Angels has partnered with other agencies to help people find jobs by providing transportation and uniforms. And through the years, Angels has received various awards for their service to the poor and needy in our community. On May 18, 1999, Representative John Shimkus read a proclamation into the Congressional Record recognizing Angels for our contribution to Mount Vernon, Jefferson County, and the surrounding area. And in 2001, the Central Illinois Food Bank recognized Angels on Assignment as its agency of the year. And out there in the entryway this morning, we have a display set up with some pictures from Angels on Assignment and some photo albums that I think probably were mostly kept by Betty, but anytime that there was a donation or an award, there's a newspaper clipping about it, it's in that album. Betty was very good at recording everything that happened. So if you get a moment, take a look through those albums. In 1999, Betty received the Chamber of Commerce Citizen of the Year Award. And I have a copy of her acceptance speech, thanks to my partner Ken Wirtz, who doesn't throw anything away. And I want to share with you some of her words from that speech. She said, "Angels have made a difference in our community, and I am proud to be one of them." Betty's definition of an angel is angels are sent by God on assignment to help you in a situation when it is humanly impossible to help yourself. They may be dispatched from heaven, or they may be your next door neighbor. And Betty concluded her speech with this: "And you have not lived a perfect day unless you have done something for someone who can never repay you." I think we should all strive to live by that philosophy. We cannot thank Betty enough for her dream and vision in starting Angels in 1991 and for her service as executive director until 2002. Carol Thomas then served as executive director from 2002 to 2010, and Carol continues to be an instrumental volunteer with Angels every week. Ann Bothy has been the executive director since 2010. This organization is 100% volunteer run. That's including the executive directors. They do not receive any compensation for the many hours that they put into running this organization. When Angels started, it operated out of the Mount Vernon room in the basement of the church. Then a few years after that, they purchased the Wood Building, which is just south of the church, and then in 2010 moved to the current location across the street on Broadway. When Angels first started distributing food, it was stored in the furnace room off the Mount Vernon room kitchen downstairs. The Boy Scouts met at the church each week, and at the end of their meeting, they would fill 5 or 6 bags with canned goods to be given away that week. But things have changed a little bit since then, so let's take a look at how the food pantry operates today.
The food pantry is run by volunteers. Our volunteers have worked as young as 10 years old. The people, when they come, they have to sign in and they receive a number indicating how many people are in their family. Then they take their box or their basket and they begin at the end of the table. The first items are from the walk-in freezer, and it is usually meats and potatoes. Then we also have canned goods of vegetables and different variety of things. We've also been given soda and different fruit drinks that we can give them as they go down the line, pastas, and also all kinds of condiments. There are mustard and ketchup sometimes, mayonnaise, peanut butter, hummus dip, which is something that not everyone wants. As they go around the corner, there's a miscellaneous table, and it has a variety of things. At the very end, there are bakery items. We also, around the corner, sometimes have crackers and cereal, and people get to choose what they want. The people are very, very gracious and very, very thankful for the things they receive. And that is how our food pantry operates.
We aren't quite always that fast. So food pantry is open Fridays from 9 to 11, and families can't come more often than every 4 weeks. Angels receives the food donations from individuals, from churches, a Boy Scout food drive, recently from the TB3 Sack Hunger food drive, and the Midwest Food Bank. And food is also purchased in bulk from the Central Illinois Food Bank in Springfield. In addition, we receive day-old bakery items from IGA, Subway, Pizza Hut, and Bob Evans. And these items are picked up by volunteers each week and sometimes on a daily basis. And you can just see here in the last 2 years, we usually spend about $2,000 a month on food, and this represents the number of families served. Now that's family units, that's not the total people. We had some families come through Friday that may have had 6, 7, I think there was one with 10 members in the household. So you can see that's just the number of families. And then the volunteer hours to make this happen every Friday morning. The thrift shop is another aspect of the Angels operation. And Jenny Totten, I found a note that she had written at one point about the history of the thrift shop. When Ralph and Jenny retired and started attending First United Methodist Church, they heard about Angels. And Jenny had the idea to start a monthly rummage sale with the proceeds to benefit Angels. So that rummage sale was held once a month downstairs in the Mount Vernon room. And then when they moved across to the wood building, they were able to be open every week because they could leave all of the merchandise out on display and not have to clean it up every time. And then when we moved to across the street in the bigger building, we have a larger area for display and for storage, and we still managed to fill that all up thanks to the generosity of this congregation as well as the community. The store hours are Thursdays from noon to 5 and Fridays 9 to noon. And then each Christmas season, the YAMS, the Young Adult Methodists, collect gently used toys that they sell at the thrift shop, with the proceeds going to Angels, and to help those that, to provide Christmas. You know, people want to buy toys for their kids, and during December, the thrift store was going to be open on Saturdays. So here's a bit of a video regarding the thrift store.
Welcome to the Angels on Assignment thrift store. We are so blessed with all of your donations. Our volunteers sort items on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings. When an item is determined to be in good condition, it is priced and put in a thrift shop for sale. We have carts in the food pantry where we offer free clothing and household items to those who need. Friday, people get vouchers in the interview office where they can receive free clothing and household items. The last Friday of each month, we have a $3 bag day, and that is how we get rid of items that have been on the shelf for a long time. Following bag day, we put new items and clothing out in the shop. And as we do, we again put new items out for free and sort clothing for the missions. We appreciate your support in this area of our ministry. Without your donations and the sales from the thrift store, none of this would be possible. Thank you.
And here are just statistics from the sales from the thrift shop over the last 2 years, in 2014, 2015, and the number of volunteer hours it takes to be able to sort and price and have the store open each week. So we really appreciate all those volunteers. And the proceeds from the thrift shop go to purchase food for the food pantry and go to the financial assistance that's given out to the clients, which is the third prong of the current Angels operation, is the financial assistance. Clients are interviewed and requests for assistance are considered on Friday mornings, and Nancy Gibbs and Ann both of you are going to tell us a little bit about how that financial assistance program works.
The Angels on Assignment Ministry is an amazing volunteer organization reaching hundreds of people in need each and every week. I enjoy working here in this part of Angels where we help those that are in financial need. We have developed a criteria through the years that helps us during that interview process so that we know when we are helping those that truly have a need. You know, we might pay a water bill so that the water is not shut off. We might help pay part of their rent or part of their power bill. Our clients cannot seek financial assistance from Angels more than every 6 months. Our weekly funds come from the sales in the thrift shop and from your donations and other various memorials. More volunteers are always needed. If you'd like to know more about the interview process, just come down any Friday morning and we'd be happy for you to see how the process works. It's really amazing to see what God is doing in our community through Angels on Assignment and our First United Methodist Church.
Good morning. Welcome to Angels on Assignment. This is where most of the action takes place. Clients come in, they check in at the front desk. Ann Garrison pulls their file. They find somebody to interview them, sit down and interview, copy their financial information, and then we start processing, and we go through and we look and make sure that we've got all the information that we need to process and make sure that, you know, everything's the same address and everything falls through. If they're asking for rent, we call the assessor's office here in town, and we make sure that the person they say owns the property really owns the property, because we don't want to send the money to just their friend. So we make sure that they really are telling the truth about that. And then we call Ameren if they're asking for power, and we verify that, yes, they have power there and it's in their name, and this is how much they need to keep it on. And then we We pay usually about $100. Sometimes if we've got more in the account, we'll pay more than that. If Ameren needs more than that money, or even the water company needs more than that $100 to keep them on for 30 days, then we ask the client to go and pay the difference. So that anytime we pledge money, it gives them at least 30 more days of living in their place, or water, or electricity. None of the money goes to clients. Everything goes to the landlord or the company that they owe money to. We help with rent, electricity, water that are all past due. We also help with some medicines, nothing that has a street value, so no controlled substances. We do ramps, and occasionally we help somebody that needs glasses. Had a lady in today that broke her glasses right after she'd gotten them, and they were medical cards. She got them on a medical card, and they won't do another one for 2 years. So we were able to help her get some more glasses so that she can see to be able to do stuff. And that's what this is all about, being the hands and feet of Christ to the people that come. And we thank you very much, because y'all make it possible. Bless you.
All right, and our clients are also very grateful for the assistance that they receive. And I heard over there Friday, from several of them, thank you for what you do, I appreciate it. We tried to get a few of them to go on camera to express that. They wouldn't. We did get Geraldine, the one that Ann talked about, helping her with her glasses, to help her with her glasses, and an inhaler on Friday. So she was willing to talk, but not on her face on camera.
My name is Geraldine Montgomery. I've been coming to Angels on Assignment for a long time, and they haven't been nothing but a blessing to me. And I want it to continue as long as the Lord allows.
And I think there's several people that feel the way Geraldine does, and I noticed on the wall over there they have cards with thank you notes from people that have received financial assistance and showing their appreciation. I want to look at the financial assistance. From when this started in 1991, the help given was about $1,000, served 14 clients. The second year, up to almost $10,000 and 107 clients. But now we look at the last 2 years, and last year we gave out nearly $100,000 in rent, utilities to help those in this community. And when it talks about the clients served there, that's the number of households. So it doesn't include every person. So if there's a household of 10, household of 6, that's not reflected in those numbers. That's just the number of households served. And then, of course, the volunteer hours that it takes to interview the clients, make the phone calls, and to get those bills paid. That money comes from donations to Angels on Assignment, the thrift shop, income. Generally, each year we get a FEMA grant, and then also the money raised from the Salvation Army kettles, the bell ringing that we do between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And if you look at this, in 2015, and this is just running the operation over there at the Angel Center. It doesn't include some of the other projects. Almost 11,520 volunteer hours. I figured that up. That is 5.5 people working a full-time 40-hour-a-week job. That members of our congregation, other churches, community members have put in to help the needy in Jefferson County. Now we want to hear from a couple of our volunteers about their experience and why they serve at Angels on Assignment. So this is Carol Ritchie and Jim Henson.
I like working here, and I like working in this area because I have contact with the clients every week. They come through, and of course they love to get the pastries, so they're always happy when they get to this part of it. And some of them have been coming every month for all the time I've been here, and we've just become like friends. They know that I'm here, and if I'm not, they say, "Where were you last week? I missed you." And I've gotten so I know that if they've been sick, I ask them about them. And sometimes they even say, "God bless you," when they get finished, and I'm always thrilled when they do. I tell them that God loves them too, and I always tell them I hope they have a good day and a good week, and I'll see them when they're back. This is just one way that we can help other people in Jefferson County. And every week we say a prayer before we start. So I know that we all try to realize what we're doing is God's work. If somebody asks me for extra food, I usually give it to them because I know that they really need it. Sometimes we even have a birthday cake or something special like that. And I ask each one, "Do you have a birthday in your family? Or are you having a party?" and I try to make sure that they get that cake if we have one available that week. And I try to save the big boxes of donuts or the pies or the cakes for the bigger families, because I know that it's really hard. It would be really hard to feed a family of 9 or 10 or 11. We've even had some with 13. And I just feel that I've been blessed in so many ways, and this is just one way that I can help God do His work.
But I wanted to tell about this one lady that came in. She came in and she said that she had had 3 jobs. And she was working at one of the motels as a maid, and she was working at Burger King, and she was also a hairstylist. And so she was doing okay, and she had a kid, and but then she became sick, and sick to the point where she could not work. And so she ended up giving, her kid was then, I think she had the father of the child take the kid. And I think but the medical people could not determine the cause of her illness. And so she'd gone a year. And I think after that year, it depleted her savings. And so she was seeking help from us for her power and stuff. And so things like that happen, and that's what we're here for. The person I interviewed today, she came in here, and she works at a liquor store and has worked there for 2 years though, as a clerk. And she's trying to find a better job. She has some college, but she also has a criminal record, and so it's hard for her to get a good job. And she has a 2.5-year-old grandson that she has custody of. And so she is getting some help. Since he's only 2.5, she does get some financial aid, but she's got behind on her power bill here. And so basically, after we went through the information and stuff, I think we can help her with that. I asked her if she wanted me to pray for her, and she said yes. And I prayed that her and her grandson would be keeping good health, and that she would be able to find a better job. And then we talked to her about. I said, "Do you have a church family?" And she said she didn't, and so I invited her to come to our church, and told her that a church family would be a lot of support. And of course, we were both in tears when it ended.
So you can see we're not only meeting the physical needs, the financial needs of our clients, but also touching them on a spiritual level. Some of the other programs that Angels does, that's not weekly out of the Angels Operation Center, is the Cedarhurst Craft Fair food booth. I know a lot of you in here have volunteered for that to help out with raise money for Angels. The wheelchair ramps for those people that may have mobility issues that need a ramp into their home. They can't afford to do it. Angels purchases the materials. We get volunteers, United Methodist Men and other volunteers to build that ramp. Coming up soon will be the Angel Tree, where we take some of our families and their kids. We find out their wish list, and we put those angels on the tree and ask you to adopt a family so that those kids will be able to have Christmas presents. To mention the Heavenly Toys from the Yams, that'll be coming up soon. If you've got any toys you want to donate, that would be great. We'd accept those. Last year, we did a Christmas Eve service for the Angel clients. We held it over there in the food pantry on Christmas Eve afternoon, provided some punch and cookies, and I think that was very well received. And this year, we're going to expand that and also offer a Christmas Eve meal before the service. Gina Ellis and Kathy Noonan are going to take care of putting together that meal and that service. So if you feel like that's something you might be able to help with, I'm sure they would appreciate that. Also coming up soon, from Thanksgiving to Christmas, be the Salvation Army. We partner with them to ring the bells, and as I said, 90% of what we raise during that time comes back to serve the residents of Jefferson County. So if you can sign up for an hour or two to spend some time out ringing the bells at Kmart, Kroger, Walmart, make it a family affair. That's always a fun time. And last year we raised $16,500, and 90% of that came back to the residents in Jefferson County. So while Angels has been meeting the needs of the clients for 25 years, it's not only the recipients who have been blessed. And we're going to hear from Jim Henson again about why he does this and why this is important to him. Or no, first of all, we're going to talk, don't forget the Texas Size Garage Sale this week. Yeah. Now we're going to hear from Jim.
Especially being part of this interviewing, it's just much more empathy for the poor. And there's so many people that think the poor people are just bums, and no, they aren't. They're people, and they have problems just like we have problems, and they have hopes, and they have kids, so we need to all help each other. And so when they come here, and some of them are apologetic. Well, I'm sorry, but this happened, and I say, that's what we're here for, and we're supposed to all help each other. And I feel great to be a part of Angels on Assignment.
So how can you help Angels on Assignment as we move into our next 25 years? First of all, you can pray. Pray for our volunteers. Pray for our clients. Pray for the future of Angels. Where does God want to take this ministry? How is he going to use this ministry in the future? Donations. We can always use money. We can always use food for the food pantry, items for the thrift store, anything you can donate. Volunteer, whether you can show up on Fridays when all the activities are going on at the Angel Center, or helping with the bell ringing for the Salvation Army, sponsoring an Angel Tree family. So many different ways to volunteer for Angels. If there's something that you want to do, let us know. We'll find a place to fit you in. So we can all be involved in this ministry, and we're excited to see where this ministry goes in the next 25 years. So would you all please join me in prayer? Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for Angels on Assignment and what it has meant to this community, to this church. We thank you for the support this church has given to Angels on Assignment over the last 25 years. And Lord, as we look to our future, we just seek your guidance and pray that where this ministry goes will be your will, and that everything we do will be pleasing to you. In your Son's name I pray. Amen.